We're going to talk about the types of questions you'll see on the ACT reading test. So when you get your score report, each section is broken down really into subcategories. The reading test has 3 of those. So we see key ideas and details, craft structure, and integration of ideas. And again, we want to understand these so you better understand how to improve your vehicle and navigate through the test. It helps to also know how many of these questions are on the test. So 20 to 24 questions are key ideas and details. 10 to 12 questions are craft and structure. And another 6 to 7 questions are integration of knowledge and ideas. The KID and IKI together are about 75% of the test. We'll talk about why that matters. So let's first talk about the key idea and detail questions. So here are the ideas that ACT says are on the test, but what it really comes down to for key idea questions is they're about comprehension. Do you understand what you read? So over half the questions are just asking you, do you understand what you read? Understanding your vehicle and your path through that test is important, and the stressor is doing that in 35 minutes. So even though over half the test is basic comprehension, getting through it quickly can be a challenge. I don't want to go through every question, but here's the questions from the first 2 passages, and highlighted in blue, you'll see a theme appearing according to the passage. What is based on the passage? So these are questions you could actually put your finger on in the text and say, that answer is right there. I can find it. And if you had enough time, that's easy. And here are the key idea questions from the last 2 passages. You can see that contained within the question, it tells you, based on the passage, according to the passage, so you know what you're looking for with this type of question. So key idea questions have certain hallmarks you can use to seeing, and they say things like in the passage, according to the passage, and you can put your finger on the answer to those questions, and that's over half the test. Let's look at the integration of knowledge and ideas questions next because they're closely related. So these are the points that ACT says are in integration of knowledge and idea question. Understanding claims, differentiating facts from opinions, using evidence, analyzing how an author constructs argument, and evaluating reasoning. You can also put your finger on these questions. They're more like comprehension plus questions. They have a little bit more depth than a regular comprehension question, but they're still questions you can put your finger on. Here are questions from one test. Now notice that ACT says there's 6 to 7 questions on the test, but in this test there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 integration of knowledge and ideas questions. You're usually going to see these questions in passage A and passage B. They're going to ask you to compare passages. Question 40 here asks you which claim would weaken what the author says. Here's another test. And in this test, again, ACT says usually 6 to 7 questions. There were only 4 questions that are integration of knowledge and ideas. And it's asking you to, is this a fact or opinion differing between passage A and passage B? So key idea and details questions and integration of knowledge and ideas questions are both closely related. You can put your finger on the place in the text where the answers for both will be found. It's just the integration of knowledge asks you to take it a little step further, where key idea says what was said, integration of ideas will say, and how did that impact the text. So then the last category, which is about 1/4 of the test, is craft and structure. This category is about 1/4 of the test, and it's really about what do words mean and how does it impact the text itself. So often these are either going to tell you where to look, as in number 14, where it says, as used in line 21, the phrase most nearly means, or in number 24, the main purpose of the 3rd paragraph is, or they're going to be big ideas. The main purpose of the passage, where you can't point to any one particular line. So that's the good thing. They tell you where to look, or it's overall general comprehension. Just like KID and IKI questions, CS question hallmarks are pretty easy to identify. If you want to narrow it down to an even easier way to process them, key idea and detail questions ask what happened. Integration of knowledge questions ask how did it impact the text, and craft and structure questions ask why was it included. So let's look back at the scoring from our sample text. You can see that this student met 71% of key ideas and details. They met the benchmark for key ideas and details. That's good. I would want to know, why did this student miss the 7 questions? Were they running out of time, or did they just simply not comprehend what they were reading? Integration of knowledge and ideas. Again, really well done. That student was able to take the knowledge and go in depth. But the craft and structure, we see a real area for improvement. We see only 5 of 10. So this student struggles with the why were the questions asked, what do the words mean type questions. And understanding that about yourself helps you to know how to prepare to better navigate the test and improve your vehicle as you move forward.